others. The more we shoot up to feel good here, the more compromised is the land over there. A resolution of this dilemma, or these dilemmas, raises some pretty rich questions. 1, can we help people revamp their understanding of the world so that here, over there, and away reveal themselves as they are, as one and the same place? Can we use the power of the land to knit dichotomies of politics and place, of consumption and conservation into meaningful balance? To recognize that the lands here and over there are taxed beyond measure, and there's no way to hide our prodigious waste? And thirdly, can sustainable design, restoration of place, and interpretation, the very work that you've been doing, become a universal language between cultures and generations? And most personal, how can the work that you do as a lifelong student on and of the land translate what's happening to the unseeing? That those things that we want and need the most, like freedom, happiness, beauty, food, water, spring from the very land that we are recklessly developing and exhausting to create substitutes? What can you tell your friends to engage them more fully in an appreciation of what we stand to gain by ensuring landscapes continue to thrive? The kernel may well be found in recognizing the significance of the human relationship to landscapes, rekindling people's sense of place, that intrinsic connection we feel to landscapes we love. And you know what I mean, because you've developed a sense of place in your work with SCA, through your senses, through your body, through your heart. So what is sense of place? Well, there's a very deep and complex definition for that, but I'll share it with you. Technically speaking, sense of place encompasses an individual's holistic interpretation of landscape. We synthesize the land's meaning through symbols, values, feelings, events, and our knowledge of the land. We then layer on aesthetics, experiences of work and leisure, cultural activities, and then add social, political, and economic attributes, and layer that on top of the biological and physical components of the setting. So there it is, the unique sum of values that we as individuals, communities, and societies ascribe to our landscapes and our relationship with them. And you don't mess with people's sense of place. And everything about the human experience, past, present, and future, is tied to place. Think about it. Cultures are known by their landscapes because their formative activities have all been deeply informed by place. Art, both subject matter and media, reflect place. Think sand paintings, tapa cloth, Thomas Moran. Clothing speaks as a practical yet aesthetic response to place in its material, its style, its drape. Think Bedouin robes, Alaskan parkas, grass skirts. Housing, perhaps our most profound response to place and climate, reflects the locale in siting, in design, and materials. And traditional architecture is dynamically responsive to its surroundings, a model of efficiency and elegance. Envision thick adobe walls, thatched roofs, teepees, igloos. Activities associated with cultures old and new are tied to seasons and landscapes. When to hunt, when to fish, gather, plant, rest, travel, have all been dictated by rhythms of the land. Ceremonies have grown from respect and gratitude for the bounty of the land, the elements that define its characters and the processes that demarcate the passage of time in place, be it corn or kava, the solstice or monsoons. Thus, throughout history, we humans connected frequently, intimately, intensely, and proudly with place as the source of all sustenance and as the framework of our very culture. Just 200 years ago, if you couldn't identify sources for water, food, clothing, shelter, energy, and medicine from your immediate landscape, you died. Now, insulated by economics, technology, social hierarchy, our contact with this chain of sustenance is infrequent and random. Almost none of us know exactly and precisely where our sources of sustenance come from. We've abrogated our responsibility to somebody over there to find it, process it, send it to us, and then take care of the source to make sure that it's sustainable. That last part, I'm not so sure they're doing. And how do we know if they're doing it? Because we don't know where they are. I believe if we could reawaken that sense of place, we wouldn't have to struggle to teach people to change their light bulbs and recycle. They would do it on their own, with excitement, enthusiasm, adding artistic flourishes and innovations to it because they were so excited about protecting the source of their basic needs. Your job, the practice of conservation and action, is nothing less than helping people regain their sanity and reconnect to the land. You know, I've talked about our madness with here, there, over there, away, and that these are just interchangeable names for the same place. But we also have something difficult in that no one called leader is telling us to stop doing this to ourselves. Actually, they're encouraging us to continue the opposite. They're saying, drill here, drill now, the American way of life is not negotiable. No wonder we do crazy things. Perhaps if we can truly understand what we need from landscapes and what we want from landscapes, we'll start treating them differently. These landscapes aren't just a benign stage forming the backdrop for our personal dramas and triumphs and something to buy and sell to finance our lifestyles. And they're not just the wellspring for goods and services to keep us supplied. It's this way of thinking that keeps us disconnected and dislocates us physically and psychologically. But we simply want to belong where we are. We want to feel integrated, interdependent, giving and taking in equal measure, being a part of the balance, not the cause of imbalance. So regardless of culture or location, these themes remain timeless and universal. Let's use this universality as a common point from which to launch serious discussions and negotiations on how we preserve this lifeline, these natural landscapes that sustain us. I believe we can conserve these values, circumscribing the human dimensions of landscapes through a combination of respect, biomimetic design, meaningful discourse, longevity of view, and sustainable intentional action and choices. Will that be enough to sustain this land and the future generations of all species? I say yes, but it's imperative that we start immediately. You are the new leaders, coming into your own to replace those confused or missing in action. We are all waiting for you. Please hurry. Thank you.